Hold on, Charlie, not yet.
Huh?
Okay, you ready?
Ready? We all set?
Good to go.
Okay. Thank you, Mark. I'd like to welcome everyone to this special meeting. As you can see from the agenda, it's for one item. We'd like to start the meeting with a roll call, Mrs. Slunt.
Dr. Cordolino?
Here.
Mr. Daughtry?
Here.
Mrs. Spano?
Here.
Dr. Modrak?
Here.
Mr. O'Brien?
Here.
Mr. Rappaport?
Here.
Ms. Zuckerman?
Here.
Mr. Palma?
Here.
Mr. Grau?
Here, I'd like to thank all of my colleagues and the administrators for coming out to this special meeting. There is no closed work session tonight. I'd like to have a flag salute, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Mrs. Slunt, the sunshine law, please.
The New Jersey Open Public Meeting Law was enacted to ensure the right of the public to have advance notice of and to attend meetings of public bodies at which any business affecting their interests is discussed or acted upon. In accordance with the provisions of the Act, the Montville Township Board of Education provided a public notice of this meeting, which included the time, date, and location that was posted at the Montville Township Municipal Building, all Montville Public Schools, the Montville Public Library, the Montville Township Board of Education Administrative Office Building, the district website, and advertised in the Daily Record, the board's official newspaper, on October 9th, 2020.
Thank you. Superintendent's report?
No report this evening.
Okay. Business administrator's report?
No
None?
report.
Okay. Public participation, opportunity to ask questions about the item L that we're going to be taking action on tonight. Are there any questions from the public? Anybody up there?
Do you want to,
Do you want to read the notice?
Oh.
Directions?
Oh, if people are watching us in the YouTube environment, there are directions that you can follow that will guide you to the Zoom webinar. We invite you to come over. Once you join us in the Zoom webinar, if you'd like to make a comment, we will recognize you and you can do that.
Thank you, Renee.
Okay, Max Dorsey Gordon.
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you. My name is Max Dorsey Gordon, and I'm an educator at the high school. I want to start by complimenting the board for their efforts during these difficult circumstances, but I'm also critical of this imminent healthcare switch. My colleagues and I spent 2 hours on Monday listening about mindfulness and stress reduction techniques, and later that evening, the staff was informed of a drastic change in healthcare providers. I do acknowledge the right of the board to do this, but I question the responsibility of it. I watched my coworkers thrown into chaos because of the additional uncertainty this decision caused in a situation already full of uncertainty. I will do my best to patiently and calmly wait for the details of these changes, but I implore the board to do everything in their power to reduce the causes of stress and uncertainty instead of sometimes being the source of it. I thank you for your time.
Thank you, Max. I see.
Maria Aiello.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hi, Maria Aiello, special education teacher at Woodmont School. Again, with the health insurance, a lot of the teachers have lots of concerns switching from Blue Cross to Aetna. All of the teachers want to keep Blue Cross Blue Shield. Many of our primary doctors aren't in network. Many of our specialists aren't in network. This will cause lots of stress, lots of out-of-pocket expenses. I know my specialist I go to for many years does not take Aetna, which would cost me office visits plus lots of different tests that my doctor does. From experiences with Aetna, lots of claims are denied because they are affiliated with the American Specialty Health Network. They get involved with Blue Cross and they deny many of the claims. I believe it was last year, many of the doctors fought for this American Specialty Network not to be involved with Blue Cross, and they won because they do deny a lot of claims. I know both Essex County and West Orange fought to stay with Blue Cross, and they won with their Board of Education. So honestly, I believe now is not the time to change insurance carriers during the middle of a pandemic. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Deborah Marnian?
Hi, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, can
We
you,
can hear you.
can you
Okay.
tell us who you are, please?
Sure, I'm Deborah Marnian.
And where do you live?
I'm sorry. I'm a teacher at Lazar Middle School.
Oh, okay.
I have worked as a teacher in Montville for 15 years, and I love what I do. I feel blessed when I help our students navigate the way through their education and life journey, and I feel real joy laughing with them, learning with them, and just breathing with them when we're having a tough day. I find myself taking more and more deep breaths lately. I arrive at work in the early morning and work through to 5 o'clock every day. After my own children go to bed, I work some more to prepare our increasingly complex lesson plans. On the weekends, I have to set aside more time away from my family to ensure that I'm fully prepared to deliver the best education to our students. The COVID pandemic has been especially hard on everyone, and I find myself stretched to the limits to serve our district. You can imagine how disheartening it must have been for me to find out yesterday at 3:31 p.m. that the board is considering a change to its employee health insurance provider and plan that will directly affect my day-to-day life, and that will also be voted on at the next day at the board meeting. I agree with seeking out competitive providers and rates in the marketplace, but the manner in which this matter was handled and its timing showed a lack of consideration for the people directly impacted. Several years ago, my 2-year-old daughter, Erin, passed away due to a rare genetic disorder. Like any parent who loses a young child, my life hasn't been the same ever since. In order to manage my loss and show up in the best way possible for my students, I received treatment and support from a trusted therapist who knows and understands my circumstances well. My health insurance is very important to me and is not something I take lightly. Keeping Montville's district-wide mindfulness implementation plan in mind, I hope you will choose to be mindful of your employees' health and wellness and the extreme challenges we are all facing right now. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Judy Godhill?
Judy,
Yes, I'm here. Do you hear me now?
what, can you tell
Yeah,
us?
we can hear you.
Okay. I am hoping that as we start this meeting, that in your minds, this is not a done deal. When I received that email yesterday and saw that things were being changed, I was aghast. Texts started to fly. People started to talk about their own situations, as Debbie Marnian just did. And we are in the midst of a crisis in this country. We are in the midst of a pandemic. And for the board, and you know that I normally come on here and I compliment you highly for everything that you've done, but I am so upset and so angry that the Board of Education in the town in which I live can make a decision. And I understand you're making this decision to save money, but can make a decision and send out an email after we're all gone from school, almost as if we wouldn't be able to talk about it because we weren't all together in school. So we had to make phone calls and text each other. How that could be done is beyond my comprehension. The timing is horrible, horrible. Everybody is under stress. You're under stress, all of you, the Board of Education, Dr. Rovtar, the administration, and the teachers. We are all under stress at this time. And we understand that a school district wants to save money. But what you are doing to us at this precise moment is unacceptable. I hope that you don't look at this and don't hear us as a bunch of complaining, whining teachers, because we're not. We are standing up for our own families and for ourselves. And we need to do what is right for them and for us. I don't think that it was professionally responsible for you to do that to us yesterday, nor do I think it is professionally responsible for you to do that to us this year. Have a heart. Have a heart, please. Thank you.
Thank you, Judy.
Scott Riotto?
Good evening. Can you hear me?
Hello.
Yes.
Thank you. Scott Riotto, MTHS history teacher, Roxbury resident, MTA president. Thank you. I hope you and your families are safe and healthy. We are deeply disappointed that the district has chosen to change healthcare providers now in the middle of a global pandemic. This sudden change comes just 2 weeks after emails from central office dated October 1st and 2nd, detailing open enrollment instructions for our 2021 state health benefits plan through Horizon. To find out now that we are actually leaving the state plan, where we've been for years with established doctor-patient relationships, for our private plan is unnerving to say the least. To say that we are experiencing whiplash is an understatement. We are confused, scared, nervous, anxious, hurt, and downright angry, all with good reason. Supposedly recognizing the stress and anxiety experienced by both staff and students in general, and during COVID in particular, the district has made a big push recently for mindfulness. The superintendent even sends out Montville Monday morning mindfulness emails, which are often very well received. However, ironically, tonight's move by the district, this last minute change of plan, literally, contradicts the district's stated goal of reducing stress and anxiety for staff. In fact, it adds to it exponentially and does a disservice not only to the staff, but to the students as well. The fact that this would be announced on a Montville Mindful Monday, on a day when the district hired Dr. Lisa Lucas to give many of us a 2-hour presentation on reducing stress and anxiety, makes a mockery of the district's goal in this regard. I encourage you all to listen to the real-life health stories of your real-life staff who teach and engage with your real-life children every day. If it's not too late, I respectfully request that you reconsider. Thank you.
Thank you, Scott.
Laura Rivera?
Just a minute. Laura?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, so as mentioned in Dr. Rovtar email.
Just tell us who you are, please.
Oh, I'm sorry, Laura Rivera. I teach math at the high school. I'm also the MTEA chief negotiator. So as
Thank you.
mentioned in Dr. Rovtar's email to the staff, one of the reasons the district is moving to Aetna is financial.
However, the monthly premiums look to be higher for Aetna's plans compared to their equivalent SEHBP plans. Can you please explain how the district plans on saving money when the costs associated with the Aetna plans appear to be higher? Thank you.
I don't see any other comments, but I'd like to make some comments with regard to kind of in response to some of the comments that were made this evening. Many of the folks who spoke previously referenced mindfulness. That's something that I am very concerned about always. And I apologize, if folks felt that the timing of the email yesterday was inappropriate, given that, we kind of reflect on Mondays as being mindful days in the district. However, some of the information that came as attachments to that email were received on Monday. So we did not have that information to send out to you prior to Monday. And certainly, it was sent pretty closely after we had received it ourselves. In response to Laura Rivera's comment or her question about saving money, what we are looking at here is a change in plans. The Aetna as a provider is guaranteeing the premium rates for an 18-month period. So those premiums would go into effect January of 2021, and they would run through June 30th of 2022. In making this decision, the district has very carefully considered our long-term fiscal health. And based on the track record of the State Health Benefits Plan, we do believe that it is highly likely that there will be a plan increase for January of 2022. Unfortunately, we won't know what that increase would be until the fall of 2021, after our budget has already been struck for the 21-22 school year. The other significant factor that is, that is considered in making this decision is some of the parameters that go along with the legislation that was enacted with regard to this whole change in health benefits plans present some significant potential financial expenditures on the part of the board. Significant in that, we're talking potentially of, $1 million. And when you want to talk about mindfulness, you want to talk about stress, without making this move to Aetna, if the district is potentially looking at that kind of an additional expense, in managing a budget, those of you that have worked with budgets or negotiations know that in a district like this, the only way that you can address that type of shift in your expenditures is by reducing personnel. So, while you may think that the decision is abrupt, this truly is something that the district has been working on for quite some time. It has just come to fruition. In terms of the notification for the open enrollment period, until we had all of these policies in place, we have to move forward with that. We're compelled to do that by the state. Making this change allows us to extend that open enrollment period until November. But please understand that this was a very carefully considered matter, and ultimately it is done for the fiscal health of the district and in order to ultimately preserve jobs for the employees that work here.
Just to hitchhike a little bit, a couple of years ago, the state health benefits plan is no longer in effect for retired people. When you retire, the supplemental you'll get is Aetna. Aetna is a major med carrier, and it's also from the state health benefits for those people. But a lot of research went into by our administration, Dr. Shorter, along with Dr. Rotar and Mrs. Slunt, were involved. We do have a consultant. Brown and Brown Associates is one of the biggest in the state. We also talked to our negotiator, Mr. Andy Bound, who some of you may know. And that's why the administration brought this recommendation to the Board of Education for action. It's my understanding that the plan that Aetna proposes is identical almost to the state health benefits plan.
And I would
how
encourage
does-
people, we do have a webinar tomorrow afternoon. I would encourage folks to participate in that.
Yeah, we're not reducing coverage, okay?
No.
We're not reducing coverage because we can't. And we haven't been in the state health benefits that long a period of time. We were in direct payment, I'm going to say up to maybe 6, 7 years ago. I know you weren't here, Mrs. Slunt. Do you have any idea when we switched to state health benefits? Maybe Karen, do you remember? You were on negotiations at that time, but I can remember it's not that long ago because we had a private plan that was getting out of sight, and that's why we went into the state health benefits plan at that time. But I think Dr. Rothar gave you good advice to look at the webinar. I think Laura Famula, who is our consultant, she's been up in prior years, has she not? To run in service, so to speak, after school, answer any questions. And I'm sure she'll make herself aware of that even if it is in a virtual mode because of this pandemic. But I don't know if anybody else would like to add anything, but I want to assure the teachers there that this wasn't just done last week for something, but there's been a lot of research by the administration before they brought it to the Board of Education. Anybody else would like to add anything?
Well, there is
Well-
a member of the public.
Oh, a member of the public? Okay.
Donna DeMarco?
Hello?
Donna, you're muted.
Hi, I'm sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Okay, I'm sorry. Technical issues there. I'm Donna DeMarco. I teach at Lazar Middle School. I'm just curious, you made mention of the new plan that careful consideration has gone into it, as I'm sure it was, but I'm just curious, how long has that process been going on that you were looking into this new plan?
We've been trying to get out of the state health benefits plan for the last 3 years.
Okay, so yes, I'm hoping then there was careful consideration there. But I think one of the things that is hitting the faculty and the staff about this is we only found out yesterday morning about this, and the meeting is happening tonight. And I think that's where we wonder if we were really considered in that whole time period of maybe we should mention this to the staff that this is possibly going to happen, where we just spent all of this time focusing on the state plan because open enrollment just started in October, the beginning of October. So we've been looking at all these other plans, having meetings with Laura Rivera and Scott and finding out everything that we can about the new educator plan. And then to get that email yesterday, I think that's where a lot of people kind of felt it, a slap in the face of, did they even consider us? We didn't even know there was a possibility of a new plan. And right now, during this pandemic time and the way there are so many uncertainties, it was just like one more thing where we don't know that the teachers were really considered to the point that they should have been. In the past, at some of the meetings, the community has done a decent job of kind of letting everybody know how they felt about us and that we weren't kind of holding up our end. But this whole time we have been, and we really haven't heard that support from from the board, from the community. So when you get one more slap of suddenly your insurance is changing, it does start to get you wondering of, are we even that important for the district? And I think that's what you're hearing tonight. And that's what a lot of people are upset about.
Well, first of all, thank you for your comments, but I don't think there's any member of this Board of Education that has not thanked the teachers and thanked them for the job that they are doing. In fact, this afternoon about 3:30, I was talking to one of the teachers as she was out walking, and she was saying how things are progressing. She's an elementary school teacher, and they're excited, the extra work they've been doing. And I think this is not the exception. This is the rule. A lot of our professionals have really stepped forward, and we do appreciate greatly everything. When I taught, we didn't have this naturally. But from what you guys have done, the way you've adjusted, the way you've become flexible, we thank you. I thank you. The entire board thanks you. I know the citizens thank you. And that has nothing to do with what Dr. Rovtar has mentioned about the health benefits. You are very well thought of. And I know I have a grandchild in the district, and she's so excited to go to school every day. And she's only in 4th grade, but she's so excited. And I know the staff has done an outstanding job, and I can't say that enough. And I see several rescue around town, and, you know, I always stop and thank you because you are doing a great job for our kids. And I know you're professionals, and I know you have taken it one step further. So please don't think that this Board of Education does not appreciate the jobs that you guys are doing. We do. And I personally would like to thank each and every one of you on behalf of myself and the Board of Education for that wonderful job that you are doing.
Well, I thank you for saying so, because as I said, I think a good amount of us haven't heard it lately. And so I do appreciate it, and I'm sure they appreciate hearing it as well.
Thank you.
Okay. Charlie, if I could just say a couple things. First of all, I want to echo everything that both Charlie and Dr. Rovtar have said. Understand, of course, that, you know, as a Board of Education, you know, we have a budget, we have a finite amount of money we can spend. As much as we'd like to be able to spend as much as we can to give everything the best thing possible, the long and short of it is there's only so much to go around, and we need to do what we feel best to best budget it. And as Dr. Rovtar said, ultimately, I think this is about saving jobs. In the short run, it may not look good, but in the long run, it's going to save the district money. You know, we have no interest in just trying to save money for the sake of saving money. We don't have a board of directors that's getting dividends from money saved or anything like that. All the money we spend is public money, and it goes through the benefit of our children and our staff. So I just don't want any person in this district, especially any teacher, thinking that they are not valued. They are extremely valued. We have absolutely wonderful teachers, and we love every single one of them. And you know, the financial decisions that are being made are those that are made with very careful consideration of really the central office. It's Mrs. Slund and Dr. Rovtar, and I know that everything she does is in the best interest in her mind of the students and the teachers. So, you know, I'm sorry if anyone feels that we've been slighting you or that we don't treasure you or value. Please don't feel that way at all. We value you tremendously, and we wish we could do more for you. But like I said, we have only finite funds.
Thank you, Mike. Any other comments from citizens?
Jamie Novak?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, how are you? Sorry, I'm on my phone. I wasn't sure how to work this. First of all, I just want to say,
Can you tell us your name, please, and address?
Jamie Novak.
Jamie Novak. Hi, I graduated from Montville High School. I was a cheerleader for Montville High School. I lived in Montville for 33 years. I just recently, a year ago, moved into Boonton, but I still teach at Lazar. I just want to say, first of all, I love this administration. I think this is one of the best administrations that we've had since Dr. Baza. One of my favorite things about Dr. Rovtar is how human she is. And this is what I can't help but think. And I understand how it works and the saving money. And Mr. Palma, thank you so much for your explanation. And Charlie, your compliments are very much needed and very much appreciated. But there's a difference between saying you appreciate us and showing us that were appreciated. And I have to be honest, and it really pains me to say that since the summer, I feel like we're not even human. I just feel like I had to open up my mouth and remind the community, many of whom are my close, dear friends, people I went to school with. I'm now teaching their children. Okay, I'm a Montvillian, and I am appalled at the way we have been regarded, and I can't understand it. We are on the front line. We are the front line workers now. And I also want to say that I really want to bring everyone's attention, and I really want you to think about what it took for my friend Debbie Marnian to stand up and say what she just said, the courage and the strength that she had to muster up to say that. And I want to apologize to Debbie, because I think it's unfortunate that she had to be put in a position where she had to bear that to the entire community. It's just stress is not even the word. I feel like we're given on Monday, on Friday, no, not even, when did we get this? In the same day, we're given a stress in service and practicing presence and how to like not lose our minds. And the same day we get this email. It's just, no one needed this right now. Yes, the board has to do what they have to do. Listen, you see how we rise to every occasion. We do what we have to do no matter what. And comments that have been made, one in particular about our professional irresponsibility regarding visiting states that are on that blacklist. My daughter goes to school in Florida, and I really, really resent that comment. I feel it was not thought out at all. And I just wanted to express my anger. My admiration remains for this administration. I think you guys together as a team, Dr. Rotar especially, and Dr. Shorter, have made such differences and such amazing advancements in the curriculum, in everything, every way, in the community. One Montville, you guys have done so much. And I don't want to be upset. I don't want to be upset with you guys, but I am very, very upset with you guys. I want to just make one plea. I want to make one final plea. Please don't do this now. Can we please just wait? We can barely breathe. Our brains are turning into machines. We can't handle anything else. We will handle it.
We lost you, Jamie. Jamie? Well,
It looks like she's there, but if she was on her phone, the phone may have cut out.
Jamie, we've
Are you
lost
still
you.
there, Jamie?
Can you hear me?
We keep losing you.
I don't know. I don't know what I can do. I guess I just have shoddy internet. I'll end it. I'll wrap it up. I just want to make a plea that you guys maybe reconsider doing this maybe at the end of the school year. Just let us please give us an emotional break. We're dying out here, and we're doing everything that we possibly can. Happily. That's all I wanted to say.
Thank you, Jamie.
Thank you so much.
Drew Pittenger?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Drew Pittenger. I'm a special education teacher at the high school. I do want to thank you for taking time to listen to what I have to say. I'm a relatively new teacher to the high school. This is my 6th year. And kind of picking back off of what some of my colleagues said, I want you guys to think back to the high school and what the teachers did over the summer for graduation, the time that they put in, the drive-through graduation that was presented. I would put up against any other public school in the state of New Jersey that it was the best drive-through graduation and experience that we could provide to the students that deserved it for their hard work throughout their entire educational career. Teachers went above and beyond. They dedicated a lot of their time to give the best experience to those students that they could. And then on top of that, we also provided a more formal graduation if the students wanted that. And with this decision that you guys have presented to us in a very short time frame, again, it's just another shot at us. You know, when this whole pandemic started, the public opinion out there is teachers are amazing. They're on the front lines. They're doing everything they can to educate the students the best way that they can. And that public opinion has shifted. It's been pretty evident in some of the board meetings, parents complaining, saying things such as we shouldn't be paid, our full salary, that we're working half days. And I'm telling you from my 6 years at Montville that I go home and I'm dog tired. And to have this on top of it is just another added stress that can be reconsidered. And I urge you guys to just reconsider your decision. Like the person before me said, maybe at the end of the year or going into next year. It's just a lot to handle right now.
Thank you. And you are right, our graduation was first class, everything about it, and you never heard the response from the board that we think you shouldn't be paid or any of that stuff. That comes from citizens of which we have no control over what they say up to a point. Anybody else?
Judy, God help?
Was there any? Judy was already on.
No, I don't see any other hands.
All right, Judy will be the last one. Go ahead, Judy.
Okay, I just want to say that, and I think I said it before, I understand that.
Judy, speak up a little, please.
Okay, I'm speaking as loudly as I can. I just want to say that I understand the job of a board, and I understand that it's not easy, and certainly I understand the job of the administration. But I don't think there's anyone that doesn't understand that you're trying to save jobs and trying to save money. Saving jobs, we're in. We don't want anybody to be let go. But the one piece that really hits everybody is the fact that you mentioned that you have been looking into this for 3 years. I don't know. I knew nothing of it. I don't think my colleagues did either. And I think that in a relationship, which is what we have, there needs to be honesty and openness and transparency.
Judy, let me stop you right there. Judy, let me just ask you to hold on.
Sure.
The administration is constantly reviewing things. Constantly. The staff and the citizens aren't brought up to date in everything that they're looking at. So when Dr. Rothar indicated that they're looking at this is something they've been looking at, okay, as part of their job. Okay, it's not something that.
I totally understand that, and I appreciate what you're saying. But the ones that were affected, I'm not saying that in the beginning, when you start looking at it, you have to let each one of us know. But as we're getting closer to this point, where we're going to make where you are going to make a final decision, I think it would have behooved the board to let us know that this is the direction we are going in. This is what we're doing, because we don't want people to lose their jobs. This is a matter of saving money for the district. This is where we are headed. And then, I don't want to, I'll repeat myself, what everyone else said, getting the email. And Renee, I understand you had to send that email out. I get it. And, you're kind of taking the brunt of it all. But, getting the email and being told, okay, this is what we're doing. And it's going to start in January of 2021. Everybody was crazy about it. Everybody was throwing their hands up. What are they doing? If we had been told, not from the very beginning, but if we had been apprised of what was going on, I don't think that people would have had the reactions they're having now.
Okay. Thank you, Judy.
Jason Jones?
I thought you said you were the last one.
Well, he put his hand up, and if you want to cut it, then this would be the last person.
Can you hear me?
Go ahead, Jason.
Yeah, hi. How you doing? Okay, thank you. Thanks for giving me the chance to speak.
Jason, could you identify yourself and where you are?
Oh, yeah, sure. My name is Jason Jones. I live at 12 Lancaster Avenue. I'm a teacher at Hilldale. I'm also a resident.
Okay.
So I just kind of tuned in here. I was a little late, but Yeah, I guess just hearing a couple of other people's comments, I echo the sentiment that, you know, it obviously came at quite a shock at a time when not only are we trying to figure out, you know, the major differences between the new health plan and the old, but now we were just told about the Aetna, you know, and again, you know, this is coming at a time, as you guys know, unprecedented stress, unprecedented challenges for teachers. Last March when we closed, the staff, you know, really took it upon themselves to be proactive and got materials out to the students and the kids before we were officially closed, kind of foreseeing some of the problems that were going to be coming very quickly. And because of the staff, the kids had the materials that they needed to be successful for that springtime closure. Now, again, we come to the fall, you know, staff is going back in, putting themselves in harm's way, you know, doing the best that we can with, you know, the technology and the resources that we have, pretty much building the plane as we fly. And, you know, everybody's so stressed out, you know, people are having neck problems from, you know, bending over the computers and doing all of the virtual learning. And, you know, every Monday we get the emails about mindfulness and trying to relax and things like that. And it just seems like this was the least mindful way that the Aetna plan could have been presented to the staff, to be honest with you. And again, it's just, you know, so much all at once. You know, people were handing in paperwork for either the Horizon plan or the new state plan, and then all of a sudden there's more stuff to look at. People are worried. People already called Aetna. Their pediatricians aren't covered by Aetna. They don't take Aetna and stuff. Everybody on top of all the other stressors that we have. Now we're worried about, God, are our kids going to be covered, you know, with their doctors? Are we going to have to find somebody new in the middle of this whole COVID mess? You know, the timing is just very upsetting to me. And again, being a staff member and being a resident that has 2 kids in town that have had so many awesome, amazing teachers that go above and beyond. I have teachers emailing me at night about my kid missing homework and things like that, trying to help my kids out. God bless them, to be honest with you. And, you know, it really just is a huge letdown, you know, especially, like I said, in a district where we're supposed to be mindful, we're supposed to be, you know, doing all of these relaxation things. It's just counterproductive to, you know, the goals like that. So I just wanted to say that, guys. I mean, I wish it could have been done in a different way, or even if you could reconsider until a later point. You know, it just really gives people no time to kind of compare options. So I just wanted to say that. Thank you for letting me speak.
Thank you. Thank you for your comments and keep up the great work.
Thank you.
Since there's no other public speakers, any board members like to make any comments? I know Mike did. Anybody else on the Board of Education want to make any comments?
Karen has.
Since we didn't have a closed meeting.
Karen has her hand up.
Pardon?
Karen has her hand up.
Karen, you have your hand up. Renee told me. Go ahead.
I think you're muted, Karen.
You're muted.
Can you hear me now?
Yep, you're good.
Well, just to the teachers, you are our heroes. We understand you are frontline workers, just like doctors, nurses, you know, the custodial crew, everyone who has to put themselves in harm's way are heroes, and you are our heroes. Just by way of some explanation, I think what really accelerated the thinking on what's on the agenda tonight is the new New Jersey educators' health plan. And from our understanding, it will have a significant financial impact, we believe. it is certainly hard to sit here and listen to the teachers speak so passionately and balance that with our thoughts on, the board's thoughts on being fiscally responsible. So I'm going to ask our business administrator or the superintendent, what would be the consequence of at least giving the teachers some more time in evaluating the plans, doing more comparison. I would hate to have the teachers feel that, it hurts me to hear them say they feel like they're being slapped in the face. On the other hand, I understand there are financial consequences to not moving forward. So I was just wondering if Katine or Dr. Robtar, is there any leeway here to postpone the vote and give them more time to get accustomed to or learn more about?
I think she
the Aetna
mentioned.
plan?
I think she mentioned the middle of November.
Right, so we do have the webinar
Middle of
scheduled
November.
for tomorrow that will kind of walk folks through, what Aetna
But not to
about.
interrupt, but with all due respect, that's after the vote.
Right. Well, the concern with the vote, and actually, I know Mr. Jones had mentioned that there was a lot for folks to digest, even considering the New Jersey State Health Benefits Plan. And, without a change, that timeline, moves up very quickly because that is the end of the month. In making this change, we do enable ourselves to push out that deadline until November 13th. But in order for us to make the shift, we do need to be able to provide notice to both the State Health Benefits Plan that we're leaving and Aetna that we're coming on board for a January 1st start date. So, there is some amount of calendar pressure. I don't know if you want to add to that, Katine.
In terms of timelines, we have to notify state health benefits by the beginning of November. We have the ability to push out the enrollment period in order to provide opportunities for questions and discussions regarding the options of the plan. We do need to notify Aetna as soon as possible due to the fact that they have to now do a conversion of us over to their plan by the beginning of January, so that's part of it. I guess this is a discussion of time. How much time are we referring to?
Well, it really couldn't go past, our next meeting, which would be October 27th, because if we have to provide notice by November 1st, that would really be, a deadline from a board meeting perspective.
I'm not sure if that helps the teachers or not, but I would certainly, if we have that short period of time to allow them to learn more, I'm certainly willing to wait if our business administrator believes that that's something we can do.
Yeah, I would hope that we would be able to give them as much time as possible to analyze the plans and see which choices that they may want to take advantage of. And if we can do it, find out the latest that we can do this, okay?
Well, the latest would really be, 2 weeks from tonight. We could defer action on this resolution.
Well, that would just be the resolution, right?
Right, deferring action on the resolution. And the presentation tomorrow will be on the Aetna plan. So folks would have the opportunity to listen to the information that Laura Fanuel can provide and to ask questions. That's certainly, a possibility.
Anybody else?
Michelle has her hand up.
Michelle?
I want to echo a little bit, a lot of what's been said kind of on all ends here. I know that our administration works so hard to do the right thing from all aspects, including, the financial responsibility. And my understanding is it's a significant, financial impact. But I find it, and I actually do not think there was anything intentionally done with the way the notification was done. But sometimes I think it's just a combination of circumstances. I hear what the teachers are saying, and I feel for them. This is a difficult situation and a really difficult time in the world. I would, support at the very least moving the vote for 2 weeks to give everybody more time to understand it and feel comfortable with it. And it's something that I think would be the right thing to do in this situation.
Mike O'Brien.
I move to go into a private session to discuss a financial.
Speak up, Mike.
I move to go into a special session to discuss personnel and financial items. I move at this time.
Mike, what you want to say is to discuss personnel and potential contracts.
Well, to go, yes. Yeah.
Second.
Hold on one second. Oh, hold on before we vote.
Okay, that's
Mark, how are we gonna do that now, Mark?
I'm sorry?
Some of the board members want to go into closed session.
We can't do it. We
Yeah.
cannot do it tonight. The technology will not allow us to do that tonight.
That's what I was bringing up.
So, it seems to me that the most expeditious thing to do would be to indicate that we will not take action tonight, and that this particular item would be placed on the agenda for the October 27th board meeting. Obviously, that's a regular meeting of the board. The board would have the opportunity to, if you need to have a discussion in closed session, that opportunity would be available to you prior to the meeting on the 27th.
I so moved as the superintendent directed. I so moved.
You don't have to do that. I know, but we don't have to, there's no motion at all or
Yeah,
anything.
no one moves the resolution.
Okay,
If
can I ask a question to Charlie?
Let me just finish what I want to say first.
Okay.
If we decide to take that approach, which is fine by me, I would still like these webinars or meetings
It's happening.
with Aetna to go on because
It's happening tomorrow.
the 27th is going to come, okay? And if we're going to make a decision, we have to make it that night. So we don't have any more time to do it after that.
Yes, that
So
would be a final
I think
opportunity.
that'll give the staff an opportunity to look at this. And is that a problem?
No, we can definitely do that.
You definitely do that?
Well, okay, just
now,
quick
so-
question then. Can I?
Yeah.
Just because we're talking about moving it to the next meeting, I'm just curious. If we do that, what are the advantages and what are the potential disadvantages? How could this help us and how could it hurt us?
Well, it could do, with the advantage, I would think, would be to give the staff an opportunity to learn more about Aetna.
Yes.
First of all, give them a chance to review the emails that they got yesterday from the administration, give them a chance to look at it, talk with their colleagues, talk to NJEA, talk to MTEA, whoever they want to talk to. That would be the advantage. The disadvantage would be that if a conversion does occur, it would just give Aetna less time to make the conversion, but that's their problem, not our problem. Okay? Michael? O'Brien?
The timing has been inappropriate. Okay, I think we sort of admit that. Okay, the worst time for this to happen in the pandemic, and the timing of the notification and so on. So
well, Mike,
I move that we just postpone
Mike,
it.
there's no movement necessary. There's no motion. We're just going to take no action.
Okay, good. Yes, that's good.
On behalf of the administration, now, they just got a lot of this documentation on Monday. Is that what I heard you say from Aetna? So it's not that they held on to it for 2-3 weeks. Not that they want to send it out. They shared it, but that's okay. we're going to extend this for 2 weeks, okay? What I would suggest that we do have something happening at 7 o'clock at that evening in closed session. And I would suggest that we move the start of the closed section from 6:30 up to 6:15. That way it'll give us a little bit of time to talk about this and any other closed items, so we can then start the public meeting at 7:30. Since once we're in public, we can't go into closed because of the way we're set up with the virtual. Does everyone agree with that approach?
I agree with it.
Are you polling the
Okay.
board, Charlie?
Well, if anyone disagrees with that approach.
Well, I don't disagree with the timing, but here's the thing. If we put this off for 2 weeks, is there a possibility that between now and 2 weeks from now, we're going to get a better plan or something like that? Or is it just that we're delaying the inevitable for 2 weeks?
No, we're putting 2 weeks, Mike, so the information can be disseminated to the staff and explained to the staff exactly the information that they got yesterday and the comparisons of the plan. That's the way I view it. Right or wrong? Everyone's shaking their head, so I must be right.
Yep.
Yes.
All right, so next 2 weeks from tonight, 6:15 and closed at 6:15, Mrs. Slunt, okay? And we'll meet, and the public meeting at 7:30, virtual. Okay? Any other comments? Since there's no
From the
action,
board, there, you do have another, one person with their hand up from the public.
oh, this will be the last person, go ahead.
No, she just left.
Oh, she's gone.
Never mind, I guess she didn't want to wait, or else what we said encourage her. Michael, comment?
Yes, I think that, again, about the timing and everything, and we're between a rock and a hard place, and
Well,
we don't want to lose ground with our staff and so on, but the effort should be, and this is in the offing, that we get as much information as possible to the staff about the plan and about the financial situation we are in. More openness.
That's what Dr. Rothar has indicated, that
Yes,
there'll be
yes, I
having a
agree.
webinar tomorrow.
Tomorrow at 3:30.
Tomorrow at 3:30 is the webinar.
Yep.
Charlie, may I please say something? I just want to remind Renee that we may have a need for another issue in closed session on the 27th that could be
Yes, we have that scheduled for 7. We have that scheduled for 7 p.m., Steve.
Okay.
Okay, that's why I suggest we move it up to 6:15. Okay? David?
Yeah. I just want to mention one quick thing, just a reminder to, everyone at the schools and our community that, I don't know if anyone's been watching the number of cases of COVID, but over the past several weeks, the number of cases has nearly doubled since the summer in the state of New Jersey. And today in Montville, we have 14 cases. Cases are beginning to appear again, and I strongly urge people to take their precautions that made us so good over the summertime. Distance, wear your mask, wash your hands, take care, and just be safe out there. That's it.
Dave, I agree with you, and I think a lot of it has to do with the cleanliness of the schools, the way we maintain them. We haven't allowed anybody in to rent the buildings. We've allowed them to use the fields, but we haven't had anybody in on Saturday and Sunday and during the week. And I think that has helped with the potential more than anything. And I think that's one good thing that we have done, and I hope that continues. Karen, you had your hand up?
Yeah, thank you, Charlie. I just wanted to ask, is Thursday's webinar the only opportunity for teachers to learn more about the plan, or will we be setting up anything more?
Yeah, no, I think that's really all there is, Karen. That's typically any time that we've made a change to benefits, this is the process that we've engaged in. We have, someone from Brown and Brown, typically Laura Fanuel, come and share information, answer questions. Yes. So, I mean, that typically has been how we've handled it.
Since this is for staff, would any board members that want to be interested be allowed to listen in? Or is that just with the staff?
Link, right? I'll send you the link.
So if you want to check in at Thursday at 3:30? If not, Renee will take care of it. If you can check in and see it, she'll send you the link. If not, you can't see it. Okay?
Yeah, Kantine and I are just chatting, in terms of, I guess we're talking about the staff. Typically it is this session, but if there's additional information about the plans that folks need after the session, we will do whatever we can to provide the information that is needed.
I think that my idea of having board members sit in is not a smart idea, because you're there as a board member, but we're not sitting as a board member. So it would be like an outsider. So I don't think that would be good. If we have any additional information, you can take care of it. So I leave it in your hands to check on this stuff, okay? If there's nothing else, I would then entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting. At this point, we have direction for 2 weeks from tonight, 6:15.
So moved.
Closed.
So moved.
7 o'clock.
Thanks, Mike.
Second, please.
Second.
All in favor?
Second.
Yes.
Aye.
Yes. Aye.
Thank you, board members, for coming. Thank you, citizens, for your input. And we'll see you 6:15 in 2 weeks, if not before. Okay?